Hello, I'm former journalist Phil Doherty and political campaigner, and this is Politics Unravelled. Please give the video a like and a subscribe on the way in. It actually helps enormously with the channel. Right, Starmer is neck deep in the doo-doo. We know it, he knows it, everyone knows it. Because the Mandelson Epstein vetting scandal is not going to go away, because story has legs, and those legs aren't sauntering, they're actually galloping. Now, I'm not going to go into the timeline of the actual scandal or even the background of the allegations themselves. I have, however, included links under the video to timeline stories in the media and the past resignations and the background to the current scandal. So if you want to go and check them out, you can. Instead, let's look at the political side of this and what is likely, though not conclusive, to happen next, and what is unlikely to happen from the political perspective, that is. In other words, what are the manoeuvres, the tactics that will be applied in the coming battle to get Starmer out of office? And let's be honest, no one's actually accepting Starmer's excuses nor his deflections by blaming others. His narrative that he wasn't informed by senior civil servants that Mandelson had actually failed vetting, even if it's actually true, I mean, it begs the question, why didn't he actually ask for it? It wasn't as if he was hiring a politically invisible ambassador to, say, a small island in the Pacific. I mean, it was the ambassador to the most important diplomatic post in the world, the United States. It's not as if Mandelson doesn't have form. I mean, he's actually twice been forced to resign for things he's done, principally dealing with rich men. The first time, as Trade and Industry Secretary, it was in 1998, the scandal broke of an undeclared loan of £250,000 from a colleague. He also resigned his Northern Ireland Secretary position in 2001 over a passport application from an Indian billionaire. The fact Starmer admits he didn't ask for the results of the vetting process, it actually calls into question his actual judgment and whether he's actually fit to be Prime Minister of the UK. I mean, because it makes him look incompetent at best. However, the opposition and the media are not going to let up with the attacks over the next couple of weeks. They smell blood and are working themselves up into an indignant frenzy, a blood frenzy, if you like. The Tories tabled a motion for the Speaker to begin an investigation by MPs into whether he misled Parliament. This is backed by the Lib Dems, the SNP, the DUP, and independent MPs. This failed because of Labour's majority and because Labour MPs were whipped into backing the Prime Minister, though 14 Labour MPs did vote against Starmer. But the purpose of such a tactic, of course, is not necessary to succeed. No, they know it will fail, and they've known that before they even called for it. The real reason is to keep pressure on the Labour government and Starmer while garnering those important headlines as we run up to the election. You see, it keeps the story running. It's another angle for the media to savage Starmer with. And when it fails, then will come the inevitable calls that he has something to actually hide, that he is terrified to face the powerful Privileges Committee, which is another angle that the media will try to shred Starmer with. They also try to force him into referring himself to the Independent Advisor, which is a different body from the Privileges Committee, on ministerial standards by claiming he has breached the ministerial code. If Starmer is found to have lied to Parliament, that's actually a resigning offence. And there are three ways that avenue can be used. The first is actually Starmer. As Prime Minister, he can actually refer himself to the independent advisor, or the advisor can inform the PM that he is going to open an investigation. But either way, the final arbiter to whether he did breach the code is Starmer himself as the Prime Minister. But why would Starmer refer himself to an investigation, I hear you say? Well, by self-reference, okay, Starmer will be showing voters that he has nothing to hide, that he holds himself to the highest standards possible. And don't forget, Starmer and Labour promised to hold the highest standards in public life. That was one of their manifesto pledges. Starmer also tightened the standards that he now potentially faces. Oh, the irony, the irony. He may believe it will take the heat out of the actual current furnace he is feeling and sort of like act as a shield, albeit the size of a little small buckler. What would be a Nashville vain hope, because this story is galloping at full charge and it isn't going to come to a skid anytime soon. There are a number of select committees looking into the scandal, and they will keep stoking the flames in the coming weeks. The Mandelson affair will go on well after the elections. So, will he submit himself to a standards inquiry before the elections? I doubt he will. It's more likely he'll try to actually hold the line till after May the 7th. If the election results are terrible, well, combined with the Mandelson scandal, he may resign, but that is also unlikely. Why? Well, Reform is claiming the council election results will be a referendum on Starmer himself. It would look like Reform and the Greens ran him out of town. See why the video, will Keir Starmer resign if Labour face defeat in the council elections? See, even if he's still in place as PM after the elections, the Mandelson scandal itself is still going to be there, and it's going to be a corrosive episode that just goes on and on and on. So, it's more likely that after the elections are actually over, that he'll refer himself to the standard saw in a last-ditch effort to kill this entire scandal once and for all. But another reason is public perception. If he doesn't refer himself, and the standard saw himself, okay, the standard advisor himself, starts actually in the investigation, it will damn Starmer in the eyes of many voters. You see, voters may decide that there is evidence that he did breach the code, regardless whether he did or he didn't. He'd be damned without being found guilty of anything. And don't forget that either way, the actual advisor would not be coming to any conclusions anytime soon. They have to examine all the evidence, write a report, submit it to the UK government, which likely will sit on it before it even sees the light of day. So if he does go down that route, it will come back in the future in any case. And would it work? Will it take some of the heat out of the pre-election predicament that he's found himself in? In the short term, it might, a little bit. Will it actually save Labour from a proverbial kicking in the ballot boxes? Well, absolutely not. They're going to get a pounder on polling night regardless. But whatever happens, in the long term, Starmer's PM career was given the kiss of death by Mandelson.